Hare Krishna, Namaste.
Chapter 13 is entitled as Kshetrajna Yoga, also as Prakriti-Purusha Yoga, also as Prakriti-Purusha Yoga. Sloka 22, Part 1. puruṣaḥ prakṛti-stho hi bhuṅkte prakṛti-jān guṇān kāraṇaṁ guṇa-saṅgosya sad-asad-yoni-janmasu. In verse 20, we learnt about Atma and Prakriti, that is, the living entities and the material nature has a beginningless connection. In verse 21, because of that beginningless connection, what is the effect that gets produced? That we learned. That is, the Prakriti body does activities and the living entities becomes the cause for the happiness, distress, etc. We also learned how the Sankhya philosophy takes an isolated meaning of the statement, all activities are carried out by the Prakriti. But we learned that the unconscious elements, the product of Prakriti, cannot have knowledge. It is achetana, cannot experience the outcome of the actions. Therefore, it is the living entity which is chetana goes through these experiences. As it is said in the Taittiriya Upanishad, Vijñānam yajñam tanute karmani tanute apicha, meaning the living entity accomplishes knowledge, sacrifice and action. Also in Prashna Upanishad it is said, Yesha hi drishta sprishta shrotha rasayitha grata manta bodha karta vijñātma puruṣaḥ. The conscious Atma alone is the seer, toucher, hearer, taster, smeller, thinker, knower and agent. So from these statements we can understand, without the chetana, the living entity, Prakriti, which is achetana, cannot function, cannot do action. Then why do there are statements which says Prakriti is the doer? That is simply to show the prominence of the Prakriti. The Prakriti is the doer only if the Atma is present. Likewise, we also learned in a bigger scale, the Chetana and Achetana, the Prakriti and living entities, are controlled by Ishvara, the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the Prakriti cannot do things by itself, nor for that reason the living entity can decide, let there be a creation, let there be a destruction. It is not decided by the living entity on that level. The living entity can only control its body, that to some extent. That's all. Now we are entering into the last two slokas, 22 and 23. In this set of slokas, what has been said here is the cause. So we learned the connection in 20th sloka. We learned the effect due to the connection in 21st sloka. And in these two slokas, 22 and 23, what is the cause for the Atma to be associated with the Prakriti? that is being discussed. So let's see the meaning. puruṣaḥ, the living entity, the self, the Atma. prakṛti-stho, being situated in the Prakriti. prakṛti-jān, produced by the Prakriti, guṇān, the qualities such as happiness, distress, etc., which are the effects of three modes of nature as sattva, rajas and tamas. Bhuṅkte, experiences. Hey, this is well known. Sad-asad, good and bad. Yoni, wombs. Janmasu, in births. Guṇa-saṅgo, the association with the modes of nature, attachment to the respective sense objects stemming from previous karma. Kāraṇaṁ is the cause. Kāraṇa means cause. So therefore we can understand this sloka is going to tell us what is the cause of this association. So translation says, the living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus he meets with good and evil among various species. Prakṛti-jān, meaning in the association with the body. Prakriti here not directly talking about the Moola Prakriti. The Jeev Atma, living entity, cannot do much with the Moola Prakriti, but Prakṛti-jān refers to that body which is a byproduct of the Moola Prakriti. And also another point to note here is it says that enjoying the three modes of nature. Bhuṅkte prakṛti-jān guṇān, which literally means enjoy the three modes. But the living entity cannot enjoy the three modes. Sattva cannot be enjoyed directly. Rajas and tamas cannot be enjoyed directly. Those things are not possible. But the effects of the three modes is what being experienced by the living entity. The effects of mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So when we read bhuṅkte prakṛti-jān guṇān, which means the living entities enjoying the three modes, it is the actions, it is the effects that comes out of the three modes is what's been enjoyed, not the three modes directly. Let's understand this. One can experience the sleep, which is the effect of tamoguna, mode of ignorance, like sleep, laziness, madness, intoxication. Those things are all the effect of tamoguna. So the tamoguna is enjoyed or experienced, for that matter, by its effect. One can experience anger, showing anger to someone. This is an effect of rajoguna, which also produces unlimited desires. So we can see the rajoguna is experienced through its effect. And one can experience sattva-guna through the effects of his knowledge. The knowledge, when we gain by reading or hearing, that is an effect of sattva-guna, a clarity. So when we read the living entities enjoys the three modes, it is aupacharika, meaning it is the effect which is being enjoyed, but it is said as a representation, not directly. Like how we say Bhagavan Narada, Bhagavan Vyasa, Bhagavan Valmiki, so forth. They are all aupacharika. They don't become Bhagavan, actual Bhagavan, but they are with respect called like that. It's the same thing over here when it is said the living entities enjoys the three modes, experiences the three modes. It cannot experience three modes. It is the effect that comes out of the three modes, which is what being experienced by the living entities. Now, let's get to the important question. What is the cause of this connection? Connection of living entities, the living Atma, and the Prakriti, the material nature. What made this connection? The answer is the current birth that we have taken. That is, the current association of the Prakriti in the form of this body is simply due to our past deeds, the past activities, which is called as karma. So the deeds, the activities that we performed are called karma, and the result of those activities, those deeds, is also called as karma. That is the reaction part. So the reactions are also called as karma, and those reactions is a combination, could be the combination of good result or bad result. But the reason that we got that good and bad is because we performed certain deeds. So the next question is, why did we get engaged in deeds, in activities, in karmas? That is because of our desire for the fruits that comes out because of our activities. No one is going to do an activity if it is not going to produce some result which is favorable to oneself. Either a person tries to do an activity, an action, to experience pleasure, happiness, or a person performs an action to get rid of distress. So, both are for the benefit of the self. So the self performs, the Atma get engaged in doing activities, action, because of the desire which produces some results. So now comes the next question. What caused the desire for the fruits of our action? Answer: the desire are caused by the three modes: sattva, rajas, tamas, mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. Because of the imbalance among these three modes, they are not balanced. Sometimes mode of goodness is high, sometimes mode of goodness is low. The other two are high. Sometimes rajoguna is low, sometimes tamoguna is high. Sometimes tamoguna is high, and sometimes rajoguna and sattoguna are low. So they are very imbalanced state. And based on whatever is prominent at that point of time, that type of desire get developed. What is that which drives these three modes? It is again the vasanas that we have been carrying on for many lifetimes. In other words, over time, which doesn't have a beginning, the attachment for material entities has been the cause of various births. So, due to the body, Prakriti, one gets the association of three modes of material nature, Due to the three modes of material nature, one enjoys or suffers due to one's desire, known as ichcha, and due to the ichcha, the desire, one performs action to get an experience of enjoyment, gain enjoyment, and remove suffering. When one does actions, it results into karma, either good karma or bad karma. Because of the accumulated karma, the living entity takes birth again. When the living entity takes birth again, meaning there is a prakrti-sambandha, a connection to the prakriti in the form of the body. Due to the connection to the prakriti, one gets new body. Due to the body, one gets the association of three modes of material nature. Due to the association of the three modes, one develops ichcha, the desire that one wants to experience, enjoy. Due to the desire to enjoy, one does actions that's favorable. When one does action, one starts accumulating karma. When one gets karma, they get rewarded with a new body again, which is again prakrti-sambandha. Due to the sambandha, that is the connection to the body, the three modes, which comes as a package, the living entities start desiring. Due to the desire, he performs activities. Due to the activities, it produces karma. When the karma is produced, one gets a birth. Birth means body. Body means connection to the prakriti, which means connection to the three modes. Because of that, the desire. And because of the desire, one performs action. Because of the action, one gets karma. Because of the karma, one gets body. And this goes on and on and on and on. This is how the living entity gets completely entangled into the samsara. Therefore, for one to get liberated, get free from the samsara, from the prakriti, one should understand the cause is the desire of the living entity to enjoy the effects of the three gunas. If this ichcha, the desire, is gone, is removed, then there is no need for the Atma to take birth. If no desire, then he will not get engaged in those activities that gives pleasures and pain. If he doesn't get engaged in those activities, he will not gain any papa or punya. No karma is being accumulated. If one doesn't accumulate karma, papa karma or punya karma, then there is no reason for one to take birth. No birth means no body. No body means no connection to the prakriti. No connection to prakriti means no more influence of the three modes, sattva, rajas and tamas. No more influence of the three modes means one will not be driven into the effects of the three modes. If one is not attracted towards the effects of three modes, then one will not perform activities that brings pleasures and pains. When one doesn't engage in activities, one will not gain any more karmas. No karmas, no birth. No birth, no connection to prakriti. No connection to prakriti means no more body. No more body means no more birth. No more birth means one attains moksha. One is liberated. Another point to note here is during the pralaya stage, the Prakriti and Jivatma association still exists. But the living entities, Jivatmas, does not experience happiness, distress, any of those things in the Pralaya stage. It is only when the Jivatma gets a body from the Prakriti that it goes through these experiences. But that does not mean the Pralaya stage is a moksha stage. It is a temporary period, a frozen period, before the next creation can start. Therefore, being in the Pralaya stage is not an ultimate goal, because that is part of Prakriti. One has to go beyond that Prakriti, which is what? Known as moksha. So what has been said in the first half of this sloka is, it is the combination, the connection between the Prakriti and Jivatma, which is the cause of Sukha and Dukkha of the living entities. A question may be raised, how come the Atma, which is pure by nature, got connected to the Prakriti? That we will see in the next session.
Namaste. Hare Krishna.